Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Tuesday night. Our coverage of the Wounded Warrior Cup Series comes again at you here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway, the last of the great arenas. It's the Anarchy Motorsports Series League back in action this Tuesday night. 200 laps is going to be taking place here tonight. Gen 6 cars on the track. Drivers will be set to go qualifying. We are going to go ahead and go to the Star Spangled Banner, brought to you by Madison Rising. Check them out on the web at madisonrising.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/Madison Rising. They are the most patriotic rock band out there today. That's why we use them for our Star Spangled Banner, folks. We'll be back. Plenty of race to come up here tonight.
Are you ready? Showtime. One, two, three, four. More bang for your buck.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dustin Colwell coming at you here tonight from the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. It's the Wounded Warrior Cup Series this Tuesday night with the Anarchy Motorsports Series League. Appreciate you could tune in and capture this great action as we got 200 laps of Gen 6 race action at this half-mile track. And I tell you what, it's going to be some great racing taking place here tonight. Coming out of the Lone Star State last week, folks, we're moving in to Tennessee and battle it out in one of the last great arenas, as this track is known as. Also holds the Food City 200. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight's race. Dalton Baldwin still leading the points. Glenn Murphy Jr. in second. Randy Arms third. Philip Neese fourth. Chris Ostrander moves up 3 positions to be in 5th. Stuart Joyce, who was gone last week, falls back to 6th position in points, tied for 7th. Thomas Conheady and Will Jones. Excellent performance by Will Jones last week, folks. He moved up actually 6 spots in points. Clay Dildine back there in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is John Hales. So as the drivers are set for qualifying, putting down 3 of their best laps to see where they will start on the grid here this evening. Just want to let you know, coming up tomorrow night is the Dash for Cash Xfinity Series with the All-Pro Racing League. Thursday night, we got the iCar back in action at Iowa Speedway and their Gen 6 cars. Friday night, the Super Speedway Showdown continues at Daytona, as they are coming off of Auto Club. Now back, and they were running the Xfinity cars at Auto Club, so they'll be running the trucks at Daytona. Nice little dual car league they got, or series, that they got going on there. Let's take a look at the track information. Drivers are going qualifying here. You see we're at a half-mile track here at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. 84 degrees is the air temperature with 87% humidity. Partly cloudy and 84 degrees down there on the track. It's definitely going to be a slippery night, to say the least. Watching some of these drivers go around the track. The rear end of the cars were coming around on them, especially out of turn number 2. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that action. So far, as we take a look at the qualifying results, Thomas Conheady, fastest time here tonight, 14.68 seconds at 126.48 miles per hour. Stuart Joyce in second, Dalton Baldwin third, Clay Dildine fourth, Philip Ellis is rounding out your top 5. Greg Elliott, Tim Matthews, Philip Neese, Jason Kuykendall, I hope I get that right, and Kenan Miller are rounding out your top 10. New face here tonight, the 75 car. But yeah, this is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series coming at you. It was a great race last week at Texas Motor Speedway. Dalton Baldwin coming away with the win. It became an endurance race, as they had a few cautions there. I believe 9 in total. Next week, the Wounded Warrior Cup Series moves to Richmond, and in a couple weeks, they'll be at Talladega. Pretty much following the NASCAR Sprint Cup circuit. These guys like to exactly capture what goes on, so We see Glenn Murphy Jr. there, finishing up some qualifying laps, just a few other cars. Jonathan Schwartz still out on the track, Mike Springer out there. It looks like pretty much everybody has got their qualification times in. Although Springer is making another effort here. Just a few more moments remain, folks. If you are interested in learning more about this league, you can find them on the web at amsleague.com. But it does look like qualifications have come to a completion. See the haze down there on the track from all the practice and qualifying action. So as we move down to the grid, we'll get you your driver set here tonight on the pole. And that Nationwide Chevrolet, the number 7 car of Thomas Conheady, will be taking the pole here at Bristol. To his outside, the number 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. running that Lowe's paint scheme on his Chevrolet. Starting in third position, the number 22, that is Stuart Joyce in that Bounty leopard print Ford Fusion. The Indiana driver starts third here tonight. In the number 4 car, your series points leader, Dalton Baldwin. Florida driver will be starting fourth, matching his car number there. Rounding out your top 5 is the 24 of Clay Dildine in that Pepsi Chevrolet. He'll be starting 5th. Still waiting on our 6th position driver. There he is, the number 68 of Fred Scarfi. A nice looking paint scheme there, a little skull and crossbones on his Chevrolet. The number 15 of Philip Ellis will be starting in 7th. The number 10 of Greg Elliott will be 8th. The 53, that is Tim Matthews, a UK Kentucky Chevrolet, will start 9th. And the 38 of Philip Neese rounds out your top 10. Again, this is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series this Tuesday night. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting. I'm Dustin Caldwell. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play action that's going on here tonight. Should say lap by lap. How's that? That sounds a little bit better. As we see them make their final pace lap, into turn number 1 they go. Pace car will be set to go into the pits this time around. Here goes the pace car. Green flag is in the air. 200 laps coming at you here tonight. And as we take a look up to the race lead, Glenn Murphy Jr. has it right now here on lap number 2 as they make their way into turn number 3. Murphy Jr. being pursued by the number 4 of Dalton Baldwin as he comes across the start-finish line. Into turn number 1 he goes, running that high line. You're going to see a lot of drivers working that high line here in Bristol. If they want to pass, they're going to try to pull a slide move, is where they're going to dive it into the turn and come sliding up right in front of their opponent. So keep an eye. That's what Dalton Baldwin's working on right now through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, they come towards turn number 3. Baldwin still tried to catch Murphy Jr. here in the first 4 laps of this race as they come screaming down the front stretch. Into turn number 1, Baldwin just 0.2 of a second behind the 48 of Murphy Jr. Down the back straightaway they go. Nice little battle. He's going to be side by side before you know it as he now works that lower groove. Murphy Jr. up high in the colored part of the pavement there. You see the discoloration. That is going to be a guide for the best line here as he goes into turn number 3 once again to the high line. Baldwin has to settle up or else he is going to continue to use grip on those tires. So he just matches pace with Glenn Murphy Jr. as these guys are working their way around the track. Let's jump back to 3rd. There you see the number 7 of Thomas Conheady, your pole setter here tonight, has Stuart Joyce right there in the 22, right behind him. The 24. Back there as well as Clay Dildine in your top 5. These guys working out their positions as they work their way through the turn, coming down the front stretch across the start-finish line. Greg Elliott as the 68 of Fred Scarfi, who just got into the wall right there behind him as they head into turn 3. You see the difference in lines these guys are running here tonight. Philip Ellis now has the 53. He's going to take him on the inside. That is Tim Matthews in that UK Kentucky car. Philip Neese in that orange 38 down there below him as they work their way into the front stretch. Here they come across the start-finish line. Side by side they go. Philip Ellis and Tim Matthews.
All right, man. Caution is out.
And the caution flag flies. And we're going to see some smoke down there on Jay Zolciak's car. Run back the replay camera and see if we can capture that action. Zolciak gets loose at the front line, right there at the start-finish line. He crunches up the front of that car. So the Sirius Radio number 1 of Jay Zolciak is going to bring out our first caution flag of the night, as well as the 75 just ahead of him. That's Jason Kuykendall. Smoke on that car. 13 laps into the race tonight, folks, and the yellow flag flies for the first time. You're watching the Wounded Warrior Cup Series in the Anarchy Motorsports Series League here this Tuesday night on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on sim racing earth at amsleague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. amsleague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Welcome back to Bristol, folks. This lovely Tuesday evening. Lap 13, the first caution coming out tonight. Pace car now into the pits, and they take off.
Green flag, green flag.
Glenn Murphy Jr. on the way. As we follow Glenn Murphy Jr. working his way through turn 4. Comes across the front stretch into turn number 1. Has Stuart Joyce right there behind him. Nice view cameras brought to you by Ryan Eckstein here tonight. Always providing us with some great custom camera action. Back to the center field camera as we take a look. Glenn Murphy Jr. leads Stuart Joyce. Dalton Baldwin on the move, looking to the inside of Stuart Joyce as they head through the turn. Down the front stretch towards turn number 1 into lap number 22.
All right, man,
and we've got another caution flag here tonight, and it's a big one. And it looks like Philip Ellis was involved in that, so we are going to go back and take a look at the replay. Let's get you down closer to that action. Number 15 of Philip Ellis. Hits the wall. He's going to come down into Clay Dildine. We look to zoom it out just a little bit. Both are going to hit the inside wall, and a lot of damage to Ellis's car, the number 15. Everybody trying to avoid him. Oh, the 53. It's going to have a little bit of contact with Ellis. So Matthew has some contact. A little arc of brake from Zolciak into him. No real place to go. The number 16 as well is going to get involved. That's Lance Carpenter down there on the apron. Not a place to go. You can see all the cars involved there. These narrow tracks make it very difficult to avoid any incidents. I'm going to pull in the guys, see if we can get a driver interview for you real quick here. See if we can get the number 4 car on the line of Dalton Baldwin. Dalton, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, tonight, coming into Bristol, a couple cautions here in the first 25 laps of this race. Tell us a little bit about how the car's handling.
It's pretty good. It gets a little loose if you try and drive it into the turn, but everyone seems to be handling that pretty well. The big problem is you gotta worry about getting that wall in the center of the turn and off the turn. It'll definitely push out there, and I think that's kind of what happened here. Caused this last caution. Someone got tight and got up in the wall.
Well, is there any shout-outs you want to get while we got you on the line?
Always check out Children's Dream Racer. Great charity, does a lot of great work. My parents, I'm sure they're watching, and everyone else that's tuning in, watching us, as well as all the drivers for showing up, and you for broadcasting.
All right, well, best of luck to you here in the remainder of the race, Dalton. You got Stuart Joyce ahead of you.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
There's some words there from your series points leader, the Florida driver, number 4 car, Toyota Camry. That is Dalton Baldwin. So the first 25 laps of this race, and we've got 2 cautions here tonight. Glenn Murphy Jr. will be setting the pace when we go back to green on lap number 27. Cars begin to bunch up here as the lights come off the pace car. Working their way through the first set of turns. See the pace car bringing them down the back straightaway. Stuart Joyce will be to the inside as Murphy chooses the outside. Pace car into the pits. And Murphy Jr. is off to the race. Green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap number 27. Following Glenn Murphy Jr. into the turn, has a nice little lead, half second almost, over Stuart Joyce as they come down the front stretch towards turn number 1. Dalton Baldwin, who we just spoke with, is right on the bumper of Stuart Joyce through the back stretch. It's going to be tough to pass as he's going to have to try to work that lower groove to get to the inside as Stuart Joyce almost nearly making contact out of turn number 4. It's a nice little battle here for second position. Baldwin now looks to the inside. Towards turn number 3, will he try to make a pass here in the next couple of turns? Murphy Jr. crosses the start-finish line over into lap 31. And now Joyce into the wall. Perfect opportune time for Baldwin. But he does not capitalize on it, and we've got another caution tonight. Take a look through the field here and capture some of this. Wow, we got some smoke on the 54 of Shane Wood. Let's go back and take a look and see if we can capture what happened to this car. Get down just a little bit closer. And you're going to see the 54 of Shane Wood get loose, come down into the 15 of Philip Ellis, who then goes down onto the apron. There's a nice camera angle. You can see the 54 of Shane Wood up into the wall, and that's going to bring out the third caution here tonight. This is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series in the Anarchy Motorsports Series League. This Tuesday night, appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to go take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Tuesday night at Bristol. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wounded Warrior Cup Series coverage. Taking a look up at the race lead, the 73 of Chris Ostrander took us back to the green as he stayed out as others got into the pits. Murphy Jr. now back there in fourth position. Stuart Joyce to the outside of Dalton Baldwin as they come down the front stretch towards turn number one. Ostrander to the high side. Baldwin nearly making contact with the wall there in turn number two. Down the back straightaway towards turn number three. They go through that turn, running that high line. Baldwin nearly into the back of Joyce as they come down, clicking over into lap number 44. They're gaining on Ostrander as they head into the turn. What a battle for this high line it is up in the front four cars. Fast car here tonight is that 48 back there. And oh, Dalton Baldwin with the aggressive move. And he's going to cause an incident.
All right, man.
And Stuart Joyce reluctantly did not allow the four. He was not too happy on the four going to the outside. Dalton Baldwin, folks, with the very aggressive move, a very neat move to say. As we run back the camera here on Joyce, you're going to see Dalton Baldwin to the outside of him. Makes a very choice, aggressive move. So right here, you can see Dalton Baldwin tries to make the move on the outside. Knowing that Joyce goes low into this turn, he elects to go to the high line, hopefully shutting him out when he comes back up. So he's going to come back up, but Joyce does not stay low. He goes right into the side of Dalton Baldwin, and that gets himself spun around. The cars get hooked up there, and right here, Stuart Joyce is going to ride the hood of Dalton Baldwin for a moment there. Ends up on his side. Gets some air time there as we see some sparks flying. know a lot of ladies out there in the crowd a little disappointed seeing the cheetah car get involved in the incident, but it does come back down on all fours. The number 9 there of Tim Sandlin goes sideways by, almost like a drift move. Philip Neese there in the 38. So Joyce locks him up before coming to the rest. So the quicker picker-upper, the bounty car, the number 22 of Stuart Joyce, decides to pick himself up right onto the hood of Dalton Baldwin's car, bringing out the caution flag here tonight yet again. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. You might want to grab your favorite beverage and hang on for the ride, because I'm sure we're going to see plenty more cautions here tonight. 50 laps into it, and we've already got 4 cautions. We'll be back right after this message. Number 10, Fram car of Greg Elliott will be to the outside of Chris Ostrander when we go back green. Lights are off that pace car. Pace car into the pits. Elliott to set the pace.
Green flag, green
There's
flag.
the green flag. We're back to the race on lap number 52. Up to the race lead, Greg Elliott. Into the turn has Philip Neese to the inside. What a good battle for the race lead. Chris Ostrander now to the backside of Philip Neese. Elliott's going to push high in the turn. Still using that high line as a guideline. The 82 of Kenan Miller. To the high side of Glenn Murphy Jr. has Kevin Trzynski there behind the duo. Down the back straightaway towards turn number 3 they go. Glenn Murphy Jr. working that lower to mid groove and hanging on tight. High line, the preferred line here tonight, and now Trzynski gains some real estate to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. He's completely shut out from that high line, if he would so choose to use it. Here comes the 68 of Fred Scarfi on the move, and here comes Dalton Baldwin looking to gain some positions back, currently sitting in 9th position after being involved in that caution there with Stuart Joyce, bringing out caution number 4. Oh, Murphy Jr. with a little bit of connection, some checkups. Come out of turn number 2 as they work their way now into 3 to the inside. The number 7 of Conheady. Dalton Baldwin's going to have a little door contact with him. Into turn number 1 they go. Scarfi just ahead for Baldwin. Murphy Jr. to the inside of Trzynski. 82 of Kenan Miller has pulled away. Up there in 4th position. Let's go back up to the lead. Look at Greg Elliott here tonight. The Virginia driver brought us back to green and has really taken away with it. Works his way down towards turn number 1. You can see his fast lap time tonight was 14.93. His last lap time was a 15.18. 13 laps led here for the number 10 Fram car. Ostrander back there in second. They hear the 73 car called over the grid on the track. You can hear a lot of O's from the crowd. Call him Turtle O. You tuned in to catch the first 55 laps before incident. A broadcasting and server-related incident at Martinsville. This guy was on his roof, tires up in the air. Call that a turtle. Think of like a turtle on its shell. So he got nicknamed Turtle O out of that. Philip Neese back there in third. Kenan Miller now has Dalton Baldwin, who's moved up from ninth to battle for fourth position here on lap 64. Into turn number 1 they go. Baldwin's going to try the inside move on Miller. Excuse me. Side by side with Kenan Miller. Dalton Baldwin now tries to pull the slide move. Does not have the real estate to do it, but he will have it this time in turn number 1 on lap number 66. The number 4 of Dalton Baldwin takes over fourth position and starts to pull away from the 82. Kevin Trzynski back there in sixth position, the number 12 car. Tim Sandelin has another pack there behind him. Glenn Murphy Jr. looked to be the man to beat early on in this race. Currently sitting in ninth position, right there behind the 7 of Thomas Conheady. The number 9 of Tim Sandelin currently sitting in 7th position. Mike Springer had an excellent performance last week at Texas as the 50 of Michael Tant right there behind him. The 24 of Clay Dildine back there in 12th position. Scarfi has fallen back quick, currently sitting in 13th position. Has the 15 of Philip Ellis, who's 4 laps down. Lance Carpenter here, the 16 car, is the last car on the lead lap. As Stuart Joyce, who was involved in the last caution, has gone 2 laps down, back in 15th position. Jay Zolciak is your last running car here tonight. So we started the field with 22 cars, 5 have fallen, so we're down to 17. We're getting closer and closer to the halfway point of the race as we watch the number 10 Fram car work his way into turn number 3 on lap 72. They are clicking away quick here tonight. He's got a nice 2.5 lead over the 73 of Ostrander. Philip Neese now looking and feeling the pressure behind him as Dalton Baldwin approaches out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Into turn number 1 they go. Baldwin looking to the high side yet again. One of the most difficult passes in racing is the pass on the outside. He tried to do it here tonight, and we saw the results of that, so I imagine Baldwin's going to try the low side pass. They worked their way through the turn. You can see Ostrander up there in second position and to turn number 1 here on lap number 76.
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution flag comes out. And it looks like Glenn Murphy Jr. is going to be involved in this one. So run back the replay camera there to capture this action. Right there behind Thomas Conheady. Tim Sandlin to the inside. And it looks like a little rub off is going to get the 48 loose down to the inside wall. And close your eyes, folks, as this is going to hurt. Completely rips up the front end of that 48 Lowe's machine. car that looked to be one of the fastest of the night brings out the 5th caution here at Bristol. "78 laps completed, 3 lead changes, 5 cautions here this evening. You're watching the Wounded Warrior Cup Series, Anarchy Motorsports League on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll be back right after this.
Some noise. Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag flies. We're back to the race. Lap number 82. Following the number 10 of Greg Elliott, who has the race lead. Had a nice second and a half lead over Ostrander before the caution came out. And Ostrander now looks to put some pressure on Elliott as he looks to the inside, which is going to open it up for Dalton Baldwin, who's going to have the outside. Ostrander with the dive into the corner. He's going to lose a position, and look at Dalton Baldwin go. Wow, they are hungry for the lead here, folks, on lap 86. Down the front stretch they come. Ostrander trying to take an aggressive move down low, and now Baldwin goes down low. Dalton Baldwin will pull off the race lead here, lap 87. Greg Elliott trying to come back and put some pressure on him. Into turn number 1 they go. Philip Neeson third. Ostrander falls back to fourth. And now Dalton Baldwin begins to pull away in that clean air. Philip Neese trying that slide move as he dives it in the turn. Does not work there in turn 3 and 4. Baldwin out to the race lead now. Elliott trying to reel him back in. Ostrander up into the wall just a little bit. Conheady back there in 5th position. has a nice little gap between him and the 82 of Kenan Miller, who's trying to fight off Mike Springer across that start-finish line into turn number 1. Here comes Michael Tant in that 3M Chevrolet number 50. Working her way down towards turn number 3. Springer to the inside of Miller. Down the front stretch across the start-finish line. Miller will win out that battle as now Michael Tant approaches the 32, has to check up just a little bit. Springer once again going to try the inside of Kenan Miller. Here we go. Lap number 93 and the 32s trying the inside of the 82. Into the back straightaway they go. Mike Springer trying to wear down Kenan Miller. This is a nice battle for 6th position here, but Kenan Miller's going to hold on. Springer's going to try to return to the high line before Tant can get there. Tim Sandlin, the number 9 Valvoline machine, back there in 9th position, actually. So the 9's running in 9th. And Tant's going to close the door on Springer. Had a chance to gain some position. A little worry there. And here he goes again, going to try it. Back up to the race lead now. The number 4 of Dalton Baldwin, this Florida driver. 10 total laps led here at Bristol. Started 4th on the grid. Was as deep in the field as 9th position and worked his way back. Caution obviously helping him out as it reeled in all the cars. Elliott now pulls away from Nice as he works his way into turn number 3. Oh, and he's going to slide, and Nice is going to arc a brake.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh, Greg Elliott gets loose in turn number 3. Let's take a look at the replay on that. See if we can get a little bit closer for you. Here he comes down towards the turn. So it said turn number 3 is actually turn number 1. As much action takes place here, sometimes it's hard to get turns mixed up just a little bit, but there's Philip Nice, the little helping hand to the 10 Fram car. Ostrander's going to check up into the back of Philip Nice. So it's caution number 6 here, just before the halfway point of tonight's race. The top 5, Dalton Baldwin, Philip Nice, Tim Sandlin, Thomas Conheady, Lance Carpenter. This is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series. Folks, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll take another commercial break. We'll be back. Lights have come off that pace car. We're going to be set to go green on lap 104. Pace car into the pits. Baldwin to set the speed.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag flies. We're back to the race. Taking a look up at the race lead, the number 4 of Dalton Baldwin has the 38 of Philip Niche right there behind him, just about 0.4 of a second off the pace. Conheady now in third, battling with Mike Springer. Springer, the 32 to the inside, is going to look to make a pass on that 7 car. He's running that lower groove. Here they come down the front stretch towards turn number 1. What a battle for third position as Springer making good use of that lower groove here tonight, but does lose out. Kenan Miller now looks to gain some real estate on the 32. Here they come once again down the front stretch into turn number 1. Springer had a nice little battle with Conheady. Falls back to 4th position. Kenan Miller. It's about equal spacing here between 2nd and 6th. As Trzynski to the far right of your screen, behind Miller. Ostrander back there in 7th position, has the 68 of Fred Scarfi behind him. Tim Sandlin behind Scarfi, and Scarfi going to get into the back once again, and he's going to spin Ostrander, but what a save from the 73.
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution flag's going to fly. I'm not sure race control like that. Although we do see Jay Zolciak back here with a slightly modified front end on that number 1 Sirius radio car. Let's run back the replay just to see if there's anything back here. He's there with the 15 of Philip Ellis. Who needs a bumper when you want to show off your radiator? So Greg Elliott gets loose. We were following Zolciak on this. He's going to ARCA brake the number 10 Fram car of Elliott. Just want to let you know, folks, Las Vegas is taking a bets over-under on total number of cautions here tonight. The hotlines are open. Make sure you call your favorite casino and place your bets. Nice stop there from the 15 of Philip Ellis, not to get into the rear of Jay Zolciak. So up in the race lead. And the pit stops commence. To the inside is now the 15 of Ellis. Goes down into the pit road. Lights still on the pace car. Looks like Murphy Jr. is waiting on a wave around here. Kind of what you got to do on these short tracks, talking about Fred Scarfi in the back of Chris Ostrander. A little muscle action, not to the point you want to wreck the guy, but you give a gentle nudge saying, hey, I'm behind you, I'm faster, I want to go by. He doesn't budge, you bump him again. And Scarfi says, move buddy, get out the way, I'm going to make my way past you. At the expense of the 73. Again, a great save by Chris Ostrander to not draw out a caution, but ironically, Greg Elliott getting loose for the second time tonight. So here's your top 5 as it stands. Baldwin, Neese, Conheady, Springer, and Miller. 115 laps of the 200-lap event here this evening has been completed. 4 lead changes, 7 cautions on the books. Say with 7 cautions and watching Glenn Murphy Jr. rear end the pace car, everybody's out there to have fun tonight. Lights now off that pace car. Back to green on lap 118, folks. It's going to be Baldwin. That'll have Philip Neese to the outside. Conheady and Springer will be in the rows behind.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag flies. We're back to the race. As Baldwin crosses the start-finish line into lap 120, he's got about a half a second lead over the 38 of Philip Neese. Mike Springer finally into third position, battled hard for it all night. Has the 82 of Kenan Miller right there behind him, the 7 of Thomas Conheady back there in 5th. Ostrander once again in front of Scarfi. Michael Tant looking to the inside of Scarfi. Ostrander 6th position, 68 now, closing the gap once again. Are we going to see a little bit of rear end action here on the 73? Scarfi looks to the inside, slows up just a little bit before the turn. Into turn number 1, Scarfi into the wall. Does not seem to phase his speed at all, though. And now he's on to Chris Ostrander again. Not quite making contact there. Looks like a netcode bump. Keep your eyes peeled, folks. Scarfi. Conheady up in front. Was trying to make a move there on Kenan Miller. Not able to do so in Scarfi. This guy is relentless tonight. Definitely can tell that he wants to get around Ostrander. He's going to try the high side. Ostrander lets him go by. And there goes Michael Tant as well. Ostrander says, I don't want to become a turtle on 2 short tracks in this series. So he runs the lower line. Trzynski and Sandelin go by now. Back up to the race lead. Dalton Baldwin across the start-finish line into lap 128. Still has the 38 of Philip Neese behind him in that Moxie Toyota Camry.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And Elliott. Somebody must have put some sort of oils on this guy's tires here tonight as he gets loose for the 3rd time. Turn back to replay camera and take a look. And he gets loose right there, and Stuart Joyce says, hey, buddy, I'll give you a helping hand to come around on you. Right into the rear bumper and go spinning right around. See that Elliott stays on the gas to keep it off of the wall. Gets pushed like a shopping cart through the turn. Escapes down to the apron. We see Lance Carpenter in the 16 car go by, and Greg Elliott loose for the third time here tonight. Up to 8 cautions in lap 129. Here in the next 10 minutes, the betting lines in Las Vegas will be closed, so you want to lock in that vote on how many cautions are going to be here at this Bristol race. This is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series this Tuesday night. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll be back. Now 136, Scarfy.
Caution is out.
Everybody begins to slow down just as we come back. Back under the yellow. Let's take a look at the replay for Scarfy in the 68 car. So in front. I'm going to run it back just a little bit here. Our camera giving us some fits here. Ostrander now behind Scarfy. Into the wall there, the turn. So he's going to hit the wall coming out of turn 4. Ostrander gives him a salute as he goes by, says, the wall's going to bump you even though you bumped me, and Scarfy is going to hit that inside wall. Oh, that's going to be damaging. Stops the car completely, rips the front end bumper off like an alligator. My goodness. That definitely was a voodoo ride there for the 68 of Fred Scarfy. Luckily, the safer barrier was there to save the engine, but it is going to need some bumper work done on that car. Michael Tant, insult to injury, the 3M car, because I don't got tape for you. I just got a nice little nudge to spin you around one more time, and I think that's going to do it for the engine. He's definitely going to need towed off there. As we take a look at the total number of cautions now, folks, we are up to 9. Caution number 8 coming from Stuart Joyce. Well, Greg Elliott getting loose, then got picked up by that quicker picker-upper, the number 22 of Stuart Joyce. Keep in mind, folks, Randy Arms didn't show up in the race here tonight. Justin Page, Ryan Cobb as well. Some of the guys you would find up typically in the top 10. See if we can get Philip Neese on the line. That 38 Moxie car, we had a chance to talk with him last week at Texas. It wasn't his week. But tonight, he's sitting in second position. Let's see if we can get him on the line. Philip Neese, this is Dustin Caldwell up in the booth. Are you there, bud?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, you're currently sitting in second position behind a very formidable opponent, Dalton Baldwin, looking to be the fast car to beat here tonight. Tell us a little bit about how your car's handling.
Yeah, it's actually handling pretty good. I got in a couple accidents early, and I'm telling you what, Dalton's fast. I don't know if we got anything for him or not, but we're going to give it a try.
Are you keeping an eye behind you with Kenan Miller and Chris Ostrander?
Yeah, got a good bunch of guys up here. All these AMS guys are awesome.
All right, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give while we got you on the line here tonight, bud?
All the guys at Hazard Auto Truck Parts, Moxie, Little Peter, Little Rod, everybody. Just appreciate everybody watching. Thank you, Dustin.
All right, good luck to you in the rest of the race. There is Philip Neese going to start to the outside of Dalton Baldwin. We go back green on lap 142. Pace car into the pits.
Green flag.
There's the green flag. We're back to the race. Watch Dalton Baldwin to come across the start-finish line. Now out of turn number 2 into the back straightaway has the 38 of Philip Neese. Just about a half a second behind him, Ostrander trying to hold off. Guess who it is? Glenn Murphy Jr., the fast car here tonight. Once again, back up into the top 5 as he's currently in 4th position, looking to pass the 73 of Ostrander. Got some information to pass along. We watched Michael Tant, the 53M car, bump Fred Scarfi. Apparently he does get a vigilante bonus from his sponsor. The more tape that he causes anybody else to use or himself to use, he does receive a small bonus from that. So see why he gave a little nudge there to the 68 Voodoo Ride car. Murphy Jr. solidly in 4th, has the 7 of Conheady behind him. Stuart Joyce now back up into the top 6. So some of these guys who looked like daylight for them was coming to a close, have once again found their way back up into the high side of the top 10. Clay Dildine there in 7th, Kevin Trzynski back in 8th, and watching Mike Springer right there behind Greg Elliott. So we see Greg Elliott. Take a look at his information there, the Virginia driver. Fast lap time tonight, 14.85. Actually led 39 laps of this race, folks. Kenan Miller back in 12th position, has Lance Carpenter behind him and Philip Ellis behind Carpenter. Ostrander still trying to hold off as we now have 49 laps remaining in the race. Murphy Jr. behind the 73. guess some information here on Clay Dildine. He's running the Pepsi machine car. As we see the 24 car. Was approached by Vlasic Pickles. It's one of the craziest stories you'll ever hear. Was approached by Vlasic Pickles only because he has the word dill in the first part of his last name. Said, hey buddy, how would you like to have pickles on your car? And he said, he's standing there with a Pepsi can in his hand. He said, thanks, but I got a sponsor. Staying true to the blue. That is the Pepsi 24 of Clay Dildine. Let's take a look at the summary statistics here for you on the bottom left of your screen. 155 completed as a lap count. 4 lead changes, 9 cautions so far. As we got now 44 laps to go. Dalton Baldwin up to the race lead into the turn. Has pulled away to about a half a second from Philip Neese. Ostrander gets around Neese as Neese pushed a little high into the turn. And now Glenn Murphy Jr. looks to possibly make a pass to the inside. Still going to be a solid night for the 48 if he does finish in the top 5, considering the race and the incidents that have taken place here. At one point we saw the front end completely tore off. The crew able to put that back on and keep him competitive. It's what you call a fast repair, folks. So Ostrander currently holding tough in second position, 3.5 seconds behind Dalton Baldwin. With 40 laps to go, Baldwin still dominating. Shows you why he is your series points leader. Taking a look from our wall cameras, you can just see the gap between him and Ostrander. As Baldwin now comes off of turn 4. As he comes off of turn 4, Ostrander's entering turn 4. So still a good close-knit battle here. Not sure we're going to see any aggressive driving until 10 laps to go. From some of these guys, they're probably just settling in, trying to avoid any further damage to these cars. Stuart Joyce back there in 7th position behind Clay Dildine. Almost call that cheetah print quilts. This guy changes his sponsor up pretty often. He tells his sponsors when he wants to get a new sponsor on the hood of his car, he says, I will not relinquish the cheetah print or leopard print that I have. That is my trademark signature. So they, depending upon the sponsors that want to have that to their background, Bounty definitely loves it. Oh, and Joyce nearly into the back of Dildine. As they come down the back straightaway towards turn number 3, Stuart Joyce to the inside of Clay Dildine. Greg Elliott approaching from the rear of Joyce, currently in 8th position. Springer. It's Mike Springer back there in 9th position. The California driver here tonight started 17th. Just gets a little bit loose out of turn number 4. So Murphy Jr. finally gets around Philip Neese and is looking to now put some pressure on the 73 of Ostrander, as we now have 31 laps remaining. Murphy Jr. pushes just a little bit high, but he's definitely trying to work that lower groove to get an opportunity to pass Ostrander. Conheady behind Philip Neese. Into the turn they go, continually running that high line, the favorite line here tonight. 29 laps to go. Baldwin into lap traffic as he's looking to the outside of Kenan Miller. Zolciak taking a look at Zolciak's car. No front bumper on that one Sirius radio. Some serious damage on that Sirius. I can't make that joke. I retract that, folks. All right, taking a look at Dalton Baldwin. Still now 4 3/4 of a second lead over the 73 of Ostrander. Let's jump back and take a look at the battle for second. Murphy Jr. closing that gap on Ostrander. Going to look to the inside. Not quite ready to make a pass as we now have 25 laps to go in the race. Across the start-finish line. Conheady behind Nice. Clay Dildine solidly in 6th position. Stuart Joyce in 7th. Following Kenna Miller and Lance Carpenter, back there battling for 13th position. Scarfi back in 15th position, 5 laps down after that terrible incident there on the front stretch. Sandelin is the last car on the lead lap, back in 11th position. So Murphy Jr. makes his way around as the lap traffic now approaches. Murphy Jr. with an inside pass to Ostrander to take over 2nd position to the outside of Lance Carpenter. Now reeling in Kenan Miller as they try to wade their way through lap traffic. Nobody's budging, and woo! Clint Murphy Jr. says, "Get out of my way. I'm coming through." Oh, and we got an incident there. Lance Carpenter gets caught up with the rest of the guys. Oh, Mike Springer. Not too happy with Lance Carpenter there. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. As we follow it around, you can see this unfold. Murphy Jr. So Conheady right here. Philip Neese, a little netcode bump to Lance Carpenter. And Conheady, oh, poor Conheady, thought he could get around. He will get straightened out a little bit by the wall. Clay Dildine's going to get some front-end damage out of this. So Lance Carpenter receiving the full effect. Greg Elliott, oh, squeaks by. Then Mike Springer locks him up just a little bit, but boom, right into the side. It's definitely the 16 of Lance Carpenter putting the nail in caution number 10 here tonight. The little helping hand of Philip Neese. 184 completed. We got 16 to go. 5 lead changes in total. They'll be bunched back up once again. This is the Wounded Warrior Cup Series, Anarchy Motorsports Series League this Tuesday night. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race for you. Don't go anywhere.
AMSleague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSleague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSleague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on sim racing earth at amsleague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. amsleague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Spun and up into the wall.
Alright, man, caution.
Eventually riled up by Thomas Conheady. Corralled up, I should say. Following Glenn Murphy Jr., we're going to take a look at the replay camera. Wide in that turn. So Murphy Jr. is going to come down into Clay Dildine. Dildine's going to smack that inside wall as Murphy's going to scrape it. He's going to shoot up into turn number 1. Come down into Kevin Trzynski. Ostrander's going to sneak by, but Thomas Conheady said Nationwide is on your side there, buddy. Stops him from further going down that wall. Eye to eye, the 48 to the 7 as they go through the turn. Like a dance of the Chevrolets. So as we watch the cars pacing here, 192 completed. We got 11 cautions, 6 total lead changes in the race. See if we can get Kevin Trzynski on the line as he's going to be starting to the outside of Dalton Baldwin. We go back green. Let's see if we get the 12 on the line. Kevin Trzynski, this is Dustin Caldwell. Are you there? One moment here. We got to adjust some volume. You are mighty quiet, sir. All right, try it again.
There we go. Hello, test.
All right, there we go. We got you now. So you're starting to the outside of the race leader when we go back green. Tell us a little bit about how your car's been handling tonight.
It's been handling pretty good. I don't know how it's going to handle here. I got some contact there in the last incident. I mean, there's, a couple laps here to go. We're on 2 to go here. So, I don't know. I'm just going to see what happens here. And, I don't know, maybe we can pull out a W here and beat Dalton Baldwin.
Well, taking a look at the front end of your Fago machine, looks like a crinkled pop can. It definitely does have a lot of damage. How do you figure that's going to play into your race as far as working here tonight? I mean, we're at a short track, so not aerodynamics isn't much into play as it would be somewhere like a super speedway like Talladega. So you think you're going to be able to hold off Ostrander?
I don't know. I think there's a little bit more damage than just the crinkled up can over here of Fago, but it's got a little bit of suspension damage. Hopefully we can pull it off here.
All right, is there any shout outs you'd like to give real quick while we got you on the line?
No, go drink some Fago.
All right, well, there you go. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin Trzynski, a little bit of front end damage there on his car. Our cameras, I can tell you. All over the place. All right, there we go, folks. 6 laps remaining. It'll be 5 to go. The pace car now into the pits. Baldwin to set the pace, and there he goes! He takes off! He's ready to win it, folks! Across the start-finish line, the green flag's in the air. 5 laps remain. Oh, and Miller up into the wall, but he's able to save it. We're now at the point of no return. If we do have a caution, Baldwin will be taking victory. Here he comes, folks, into the backstretch towards turn number 3. Three laps now remain. Kevin Trzynski trying to hold off Chris Ostrander, and the caution flag. 12th tonight as we're following the number 12 car comes out, and that is going to do it. Race is going to end under a yellow. Look through the field trying to figure out who brought out the final one. Tim Sandlin's got some damage there. Let's run back and take a look here at the 9 Valvoline machine. Stuart Joyce picking up some action here. I'm going to back it up just a little bit here for you folks. Still following Sandelin. So as they come back to the restart, look at that electric restart from Dalton Baldwin. A lot of checkup action through the field. Miller to the inside of Conheady. You see Miller up into the wall, but he was able to save it. Sandelin around him. Stuart Joyce to the inside, and I think this is where they're going to hook up. So Sandelin to Conheady. Checkup action there. A little bump and go. And wow. Sandelin gets into the wall out of turn number 4. Both him and Stuart Joyce are going to go slide into that inside wall. And that's going to seal the deal for Dalton Baldwin. Being able to claim victory here tonight in Bristol. So Baldwin at the line to do a burnout. Victory burnout from the number 4 car. Stuart Joyce cutting that one short, not too happy. We are going to move to a short commercial break, folks. Let's give you a quick summary tonight. 6 total lead changes, 13 cautions. For you folks who are thinking 15, you bet under. You're getting some money tonight. It's the Wounded Warrior Cup Series Anarchy Motorsports League. We'll be right back right after this commercial break. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway this Tuesday night. You're going to go get some driver interviews for you. Coming in third position here tonight, finishing third overall, the 73 of Chris Ostrander. After coming off of Texas last week, you finished 13 there. You finish a podium finish here at Bristol. Hard-fought battle all through the night. I mean, this was no easy battle. 13 total cautions. Found yourself involved in a couple of them. Tell us a little bit about how the car was working for you here tonight and what you had to do to hold off the rest of the field.
The car was handling pretty good. I'm generally good at Bristol. I'm not necessarily, a top 3 car, but, I can handle myself at Bristol. I'd just like to give a shout out, though, before I say anything else, is to my teammates who, we finished, Win Racing finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 7th. No, the car was handling good. I got caught up in a couple things. The wrecks that happened were directly in front of me, got some damage. Didn't fix it right away. Fell back a little bit, and just tried to hold on really to a top 5, and I'm, happy with the top 3 that I got.
Definitely does play onto your advantage here tonight. The high line working really well. We seen at one point you went down there to the low side. You had Fred Scarfi behind you with a little bit of controversy, the little bump action where he got you loose. At one point, you found yourself in front of him once again, and you decided to go down to the low line. Did you want him to go by, or what was the decision-making in that?
At that point, I don't think so. I may have gotten a little loose maybe coming off the turn before that, which made me go down there. But, no, it slowed me down. Yeah, he got into the back of me there. I had damage still. I didn't get it fixed, all fixed before then. There was another time, though, that, I was blanking, my oil temperature was high, so then I pulled down to the low side and started letting everybody pass me. Not that I wanted to, but, everybody passing me. And then I went in and finally used the fast repair. I didn't want to use it so soon in the race, so, yep, that's what happened there. Yeah, it was just a little, Fred just bumped me a little bit, and it was no big deal, I was slow, like I said, I had pretty much a parachute, as a hood of my car.
But you finish up here in third. Is there any additional shout-outs you'd like to give?
I definitely would like to thank Budweiser. This was a 3-can race without cautions. And I definitely want to thank all the drivers in the league for making this possible. We have a great group of guys, and, we have a good time and have fun.
All right.
And I'd like to thank you for broadcasting the race.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Always a great opportunity to be able to see some great racing put on here, definitely on Tuesday nights. So thank you much. Yeah, thank you much, and we'll see you next week when we head into Richmond.
Okay, and hopefully I'll be the winner then.
Oh, shots fired there.
Yep.
There you have it. Definitely hear the crowd saying, "Oh," for the Ostrander next week at Richmond.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Chris Ostrander coming in third place here tonight. We're going to move to our second place finisher. We had a chance to talk to him before, going back green, coming off that next to last caution, I should say. And tell you what, you must have had a sip of that red Faygo pop because it definitely worked out for you there, Kevin. Last week you finished 8th. Tonight you finished runner-up slot, so car must have been doing something right, even with all that damage.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little upset with myself. I messed up the restart there. Maybe I could have given Dalton a little shot, but I held off Chris on that restart, but I'm kind of bummed out. But yeah, I had a couple good finishes here. Started the season rough. Just trying to keep my car under control, and pretty much did it for tonight, and came out with a second place finish.
Well, I have to ask, what is your favorite flavor of Faygo?
Actually, it's gonna be Red Pop, but Rock and Rye is always a good one. But even Moon Mist is pretty good too. So that's my top choice, other than the 2 favorites.
We'll have to call the number 12 car the spokesman for the Faygo Pop. So you do finish tonight in second. What do we got to look forward to from the 12 team as they go into Richmond next week?
Just got to be consistent. Short tracks are, kind of my thing here. So Richmond's one of those tracks, where I excel at. So hopefully we can pull out a top 5, maybe in a W.
All right. Well, is there any additional shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
No, I'm good. Thanks, though.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see you next week when we head into Richmond.
All
then.
right.
Kevin Trzynski coming in second place here tonight. And it's our pleasure now to talk to the back-to-back victor. Actually, I think taking a look, yeah, he's going to pull off 3 wins in a row. Triple bagger here tonight, Baldwin. A heck of a job here tonight. He definitely had the car to beat. Glenn Murphy Jr. looked like the car early on. Fell off the pace. And if it wasn't for that last caution, probably would have had a top 5 finish. But pretty much dominant here for you tonight. Taking a look at it, out of the total laps, I believe it was 110 laps total led here tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night for us. Definitely Glenn was fast there at the beginning. He got out front there pretty early. I was kind of just trying to gauge everything and see who all was fast and doing what and how they were doing, and got into a little contact there a few times with some people, but eventually, didn't get the car tore up too bad and was able to get the lead there. It took me a lot longer than I wanted it to for me to get to the lead, but it's really hard to pass here. You kind of got to get a good run, kind of slide job them is kind of the best way I've found to do it. But everyone seemed to be racing pretty good. There was a lot of fast cars. Glenn was fast, Phil was fast. So it was really cool to see a lot of people be fast here. This is usually a tough track for people. But otherwise, it was a really good really good night, a really good race, and I was just happy to be a part of it and come out on top.
Take us back to the part where you were trying to pass Stuart Joyce to the outside. You had the ground. He came up into the side of you and then up onto your car at that one point. Tell us a little bit about that incident from your perspective.
I was trying to dig on the bottom for a while, and I couldn't get the line I wanted to because he had, I think it was Chris Ostrander at the time in front of him, and I couldn't get this. I wanted to do a slide job and I couldn't do it, so I tried to go to the top, and I got a run there. And when I got up beside of him, we just came out of the turn, and he didn't gauge because we talked about it, and he didn't gauge exactly where he was in relation to me and how high he was up on the track properly, and it got us pinched there, and I thought the damage was going to be a lot worse than it was, but fortunately I kind of got up against the wall and he got up against me at the same time, and it just kind of scraped both the sides off, and the pit crew there on pit road was able to get it fixed pretty good, and it still handled perfect.
Well, you pick up your 3rd victory of the series, tied with Cameron Hearn. We know Cameron Hearn's currently on suspension due to some other incidents in different leagues. But, you go in next week into Richmond. Chris Ostrander, shots fired, already claims he's going to take victory there. What can we expect from the 4 team?
I don't know. Richmond's, I'm good at short tracks, but Richmond's my worst short track. Chris is definitely, he's shown some speed there in the past. I think Cameron is back next week. If he's back, he'll be someone to beat. And then Glenn, he always has speed. So we'll definitely have some competition. Hopefully I can get a good handle on the setup and we'll be all right.
All right. Well, we look forward to what you got next week at Richmond. Is there any final shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Children's Dream Racer, go check them out. Make a donation if you can. Every little bit helps. Get these Dream Racers into hospitals and help some kids have a good time. And always my parents, everyone for tuning in and watching. All the AMS drivers that show up every week. The AMS staff, they do a great job every week. And I gotta thank you for broadcasting and doing a good job.
All right, well, we'll see you next week when we head into Richmond. And Cameron will be back, so it's going to be a battle. See who could be the first of 4 victories in the series.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. Dalton Baldwin picking up his 3rd victory in the series tonight. Let's take a look at the final results before we sign out here tonight. My cool-down music does not want to work on me. All right, so we're going to have to do this without music, folks. I do apologize. Dalton Baldwin takes victory. Kevin Trzynski, Chris Ostrander, Greg Elliott, and Thomas Conheady, your top 5. Philip Neese, Kenan Miller, Stuart Joyce, Mike Springer, and Tim Sandlin rounding out your top 10. Philip Ellis, Fred Scarfi, Clay Dildine, Glenn Murphy Jr., Lance Carpenter up into the 15. Jay Zolciak, Michael Tant, Shane Wood, Tim Matthews, John Joyce round out the 20. Brandon Anderson, Jason, I'm going to get this one, Kuykendall. He got out early on into the race, did field the grid. Jonathan Swartz as well. We got a mystery driver there in 24th position. Ryan Cobb, Randy Arms, and Justin Page will do it for us here tonight, folks. Let's take one last look at the race statistics. 200 laps completed, 6 lead changes, 13 cautions overall. So it was a good race to say the least. Dalton Baldwin with the dominant performance, 110 laps total led here tonight. We will be at Richmond next week, and it's going to be one you definitely want to tune into. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you'll stay in the know as to when we go live. You can find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com to catch our schedule and all of our races coming up, so you'll be in the know as what we got going on there as well. Coming up tomorrow night, we have the All-Pro Racing League's Dash for Cash Xfinity Series. As they continue on that 6-race series, it's going to be great to see what they got going on. So you definitely want to tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to capture that. But that will do it for us here tonight, folks. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Oh boy, get ready for some noise. Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier